University Library and Information Service. We appreciate that you could join us for our insightful webinar on leveraging artificial intelligence for research and content discovery. My name is Neli Tshabalala, and I'm the Director Shared Services at the Northwest University. The webinar is on AI tools for research and content discovery in the fifth industrial revolution. I would like to start off by giving just a brief context on AI and further development of other conversational tools in line with the presentation today. The advent of technological advancements in higher education institutions have transformed education globally, offering digital learning platforms to support teaching, learning, and research opportunities in virtual environments. This shift has expanded educational access, making learning more inclusive and accessible. This innovation redefined academic libraries' role, which means libraries are no longer just repositories of books, but they are now dynamic hubs of knowledge discovery, research support, and collaboration. The adoption of artificial intelligence has been a game changer, and AI has enhanced libraries' ability to meet the evolving needs of students, faculty, and researchers, and have provided more efficient and personalized research support and facilitated collaborative learning and knowledge sharing in innovative ways. On the other side, with the impact of artificial intelligence and technology per se, it has increased educational opportunities through virtual learning environments, enhanced research capabilities and collaboration in academic libraries. In a nutshell, AI is reshaping the future of academic services to meet the demands of a rapidly evolving educational landscape. In the fourth industrial revolution, at the Northwest University Library and Information Services response was adopting new technology trends. We looked at our planning and we revised our planning in line with new education strategies for future changes in different type by providing different types of resources and ensured that skills were aligned with the new resources that we provided, that is our digital platforms. And we looked at our work structure as well. We looked at the workflows and all of that. We integrated learning with technological advancements, aligned with our service delivery model to support the new curriculum by redesigning and reshaping our services. Amongst other applications that were adopted were conversational technologies such as the chatbot, introduction of robotics, expert systems, which we use mostly in collection management and development, the virtual tours, Leap Insights we use as a statistical tool, and RFID technology. Given the advent of the fifth industrial revolution, it has an effect in improved operations, efficiency, and effectiveness in processing library materials, thus enhancing library services delivery at all levels. Although artificial intelligence played a significant role in the fourth industrial revolution, it is even more prevailing in the fifth industrial revolution, colleagues. This transition, it gives libraries a competitive advantage by incorporating different communications tools that provide sustainable and responsive solutions, such as making virtual spaces infinite, thus increasing customer engagement through availability of services around the clock with accessibility anytime and everywhere. This entails that staff should be firmly grounded in digital literacies. I will now highlight key roles of the interactive platforms in line with the content of the presentation that will follow soon. The first one would be enhancing research capabilities through AI-driven research tools. I can mention here AI and machine learning technologies that assist research by offering powerful tools for data mining, content analysis, and discovery. Advanced search algorithms helping researchers find relevant literature more efficiently by analyzing large data sets, identifying trends, and generating predictive insights. I can mention also data analytics, which is highly relevant as libraries increasingly support research data management, which is RDM. It helps scholars to store, organize, and share their data sets. Data analytics tools allow researchers to track citation metrics, identify collaboration opportunities, and analyze the impact of their research. Another role of interactive platform is facilitating information access and discovery by use of digital repositories and AI-powered systems to improve information retrieval, making searches more precise and personalized. These systems integrate multiple databases and use natural language processing to interpret complex queries, returning more relevant results for users. Also supporting digital learning and e-learning with online resources and e-books. In this context, digital platforms have expanded access to academic materials with libraries offering a wide range of e-books, online journals, and multimedia resources. These collections can be accessed remotely, supporting distance learning students and researchers around the world. And lastly, I can mention also enabling collaborative research and learning through these collaborative platforms. Libraries provide tools for collaborative research and learning, such as shared digital workspaces and cloud-based platforms. These spaces support real-time collaboration between students and researchers, enabling global teamwork and knowledge exchange. The potential of conversational technology like chatbots within the context of artificial intelligence may be used to facilitate information retrieval, sharing of contents, and environments to encourage engagement. The scope is broad, as I have outlined. The online event of today will explore how artificial intelligence chatbots can assist researchers in effectively conducting research, supporting tasks such as data collection, literature review, and collaboration, all while maintaining ethical standards, which is very essential. In the fifth industrial revolution, the collaboration between artificial intelligence and human intelligence presents exciting opportunities for research advancements. I hope you will find the presentation insightful and enlightening. Let us engage a little bit in deeper discussions after the keynote presentation that will follow shortly. I will now hand over to our presenter, Dr. Modiba, who is a senior lecturer at the University of South Africa, UNISA. His presentation will delve more in detail into chatbot and how they can be used to conduct research effectively and efficiently in the fifth industrial revolution. He will also highlight artificial intelligence software applications that can be utilized in artificial intelligence technologies to assist researchers in various aspects of their research processes. I will pause here, and I think Dr. Modiba is ready now. Thank you.
Thank you very much, the program director. I will switch on my camera so that colleagues can see that I'm not a robot. When colleagues can see that I'm not a robot, then I will switch it off. Yes, thank you very much, the program director, the Northwest University Library for the invitation and the university as a whole. I really appreciate this invitation, and I'm glad to be here. And I hope today the colleagues will learn something from the presentation that I'm about to do. And I'm also going to learn a lot from the colleagues after this presentation. I'm just going to share my thought on how artificial intelligence chatbots can be used to conduct research. Then after that, I can allow colleagues to ask questions and we can deliberate from there. I will just start by, and anyway, I greet everyone who is present. I hope I'm audible, Chair of the session.
Yes, you are, certainly.
And my presentation, I hope is also reflecting there.
Yeah, we can see it very clearly.
Okay, no. You will tell me if it doesn't move. When I move to other slides, you will notify me.
That's correct.
But yeah, everybody is greeted, and let's hope this seminar or webinar will be fruitful to all of us. I will start by making a disclaimer, colleagues. I'm not here to influence students or to teach students on how to cheat the academic work. This is not the reason why we are here. But again, I understand that almost all the universities in the country have a problem of students using AI for academic purposes. And I took it upon my responsibility, and others I know, to at least educate them on how best to utilize AI for academic purposes. Because either we like it or not, colleagues, students are exposed to. Others are not exposed. They will be exposed today. So hence I'm saying I'm not here to teach students the tricks to bypass the academic protocols and start adopting AI in the wrong way. But this conversation will be open for everyone. And I know colleagues will also share their view with regard to the experiences on how students have been utilizing AI, for example, in the academic institutions. Well, the title of my presentation, colleagues, is utilizing AI chatbots for conducting research in the fifth industrial revolution. And I appreciate what the program director did there when she gave an overview of how AI can be infused in research. So this is what we'll be talking about. I'm not going to be for too long so that I can allow academic engagement after my presentation, but that's what we'll be talking about. How to use AI chatbots to conduct research in the fifth industrial revolution. And again, I appreciate what you did, the chair, on trying to, address issues of the fourth industrial revolution and the fifth industrial revolution. What is the difference between the fourth and the fifth industrial revolution? I really appreciate that. So in this presentation, this is what I will try to cover, colleagues. Well, the first thing that I will cover is the introduction and background to what we are about to talk about. Then from there, colleagues, I will talk about, what is the problem? There's a problem. There's a universal problem with regard to the use of AI and students, AI for academic purposes. There's a serious problem there. And I know other academics are not for the use of AI and others are for the use of AI. So I don't know where I stand, but I'm just going to make a balanced presentation so that we can see the pros and cons of utilizing these systems. Then the purpose will go with the objectives. Then from there, we'll look into the types of AI chatbots that are perhaps good for research. And from there, we are going to look into the merits and the demerits of AI chatbots and the ethics. That is very important. Ethics, because even if we say people must utilize it, it must be utilized ethically. It must be utilized ethically. So the ethics of AI chatbot is very important. Then, colleagues, I have recommended a framework as a take home on how I think this can be utilized. And I will conclude by giving an advice to academic institutions, an advice to researchers on how we can go about this. That's what we'll be talking about today. And I don't intend to take for too long so that we can have that academic jamboree after this session. Now, the fact is, AI chatbots, colleagues, can be used to conduct a sound and quality research, but if applied properly. So this sound and quality research can only be achieved if researchers apply AI chatbot properly, adequately in the fifth industrial revolution. They can only be effective and efficient if researchers are using them ethically. Issues of ethics is very important when coming to AI and research. And hence, I said to you, there are dynamics and there are opinions, academic opinions for that matter, because people are writing about the relationship between AI and research, and they give their own academic opinions regarding this. That is why issues of ethics is paramount. Issues of ethics is critical, is significant, because without ethics, then credibility and the quality of research I talked about will fade away. So researchers must use it ethically when conducting literature review and when retrieving information resources. We must use it ethically for that reason. But there are other processes that need our ethical awareness as well, in as far as AI is concerned, that we'll talk about later on in the presentation. So researchers must be ethical when they are conducting their literature review. They must be ethical when they are retrieving information resources. And once researchers are ethical, then these tools will enable researchers to be productive in their research projects. When we talk about AI chatbots in the context of research, we talk about automated conversational agent powered by AI algorithms designed to assist researchers in various aspects of academic work. When we talk about AI algorithms, we talk about the natural language processing algorithm, which is very important in a chatbot. The natural language processing algorithm, the machine learning algorithm is also very important. But it takes these AI algorithms to make this AI chatbot that intelligent enough to be able to assist the researchers in as far as research is concerned. This chatbot will use the NLP algorithm, is what I mentioned, that it is very important. It's an important algorithm in AI chatbot, because it will also enable the engagement, which is human-like conversations, allowing researchers to interact with them for tasks such as gathering information, generating ideas, organizing data, or even assist researchers in writing. What is very tricky, colleagues, it's when coming to issues of information gathering, that students can just go to this AI chatbot, gather this information, put it on a Word document, and submit to the lecturer or submit to the department, pretending as if it is their work. So there is a lot of copy and paste from students when coming to the use of AI chatbots. I know one of the chatbots that is very prominent, that is very famous, is ChatGPT. Many students can quickly run to ChatGPT to collect information and copy it and paste it on a Word document, answering a particular question in assignment, and submit it like that. And surely that cannot be ethical. surely that cannot produce the sound and quality research we talked about. But basically, this chatbot can be utilized to give the researchers this kind of information. In research, AI chatbot can streamline the research processes by offering quick access. Quick access. I mean, if you check in the olden days, some old researchers will tell you that if you do literature manually, you take time to do this literature search, because you follow the traditional ways of collecting literature or doing literature review, especially in the library as well. But now with AI chatbot is different, because you can just go and search for something on ChatGPT, for example. It pulls this information from various databases and systems on your screen, and you have got access to multiple numbers of sources and information that was pulled from various databases and systems. So it is different on how literature review search was used to that than what they do now, utilizing AI chatbot. Hence the word quick access to relevant literature and summaries of articles, suggestion of methodologies, and even answering specific queries and questions, guiding the researchers through their academic writing process, which means you can use a chatbot which is intelligent to have quick access to this a pool of articles. You can have summaries. It can even suggest methodologies. It can even provide you with some references that you can rely on, or you can consult to finalize your article or your thesis or your dissertation, which is very dangerous. But let's go. Let's see how dangerous it is. This chatbot can also help with the tasks such as citation management, data analysis. Nowadays, if you are doing research, we are advising students to utilize tools for data analysis than to do data analysis manually. It's different when you do it manually and when you are relying on tools such as Atlas TI to analyze your data. You can also use it to identify trends within large data sets. So basically what must happen here, other researchers are using AI chatbots, maybe to scoop literature or to check a certain title, how researched it was, so that they can just go and, or when you, just like when colleagues, somebody want to research on a particular subject, will put it on Google just to do the elementary research, literature review, just to see if there's something that they can get before they consult proper databases. And colleagues, this can therefore make these AI tools very powerful in academic productivity and innovation in the fifth industrial revolution. The chair talked about what the fifth industrial revolution is all about, which is basically a collaboration between artificial intelligence and human intelligence. And chatbots defines the fifth industrial revolution, because with chatbots, there is that collaboration. If you don't engage a chatbot is not going to give you anything. So you need to input so that you can get an output. And that is the collaboration we are talking about. The use of AI chatbot defines the fifth industrial revolution, because it allows that collaboration between human intelligence and artificial intelligence, where we collaborate with this chatbot to gather this literature that we're talking about, to analyze this data, to interpret this data that we are talking about. That is the collaboration that we are talking about, colleagues. Because if you don't engage it, it is not going to give you anything. And again, the collaboration can also go to the extent that even if you have gotten something from this chatbot, you still have to engage the information that you have gathered utilizing this chatbot just to authenticate it. Because another mistake people do is to get this information from these chatbots and not authenticate it, which is a serious problem. And it talks about issues of over-reliance that we'll talk about it later. But in the fifth industrial revolution, the strength of AI collaborate with the strength of human intelligence to ensure that there is a sound productivity of research and a research that is done ethically. This refers to a situation where researchers can collaborate with AI chatbot to provide or to produce this quality research and sound research projects. And when we talk about these AI tools, we talk about ChatGPT, as I've mentioned it. The Quillbot is one of them. Grammarly is one of them. ResearchBot, the IBM Watson Assistant, the Siri, Google Assistants, among others. These are the chatbots that we talk about. That researchers must ensure that they apply themselves and become ethical so that reliable and credible research projects can be produced. The problem that led to this discussion that we are having now is that the use of AI chatbot for conducting research might make researchers over-depend on them due to lack of knowledge on how to use them. So because students don't know how to use this AI chatbot, they tend to over-depend. They tend to over-rely. And over-dependence on AI chatbot can then affect how researchers conduct their research, because they can use them not only for writing, not only to gather literature or for formatting, but they can also use them on issues that need critical thinking. And that's where the problem is. Because if you replace your critical thinking ability with the use of AI chatbot, then it renders you not that important anymore, because there is this machine or there's this system that can think on your behalf. And the mistake students are doing or researchers are doing is to use this AI chatbot on matters that demand critical thinking. Once researchers over-depend on AI chatbot, they are not going to be critical thinkers anymore. And this academic laziness now will start to prevail, that researchers become that lazy to always rely on AI chatbot when they are writing even articles. Students, when they are doing their dissertations and thesis, they will now over-rely on AI chatbot to do their critical thinking. And that can really have an impact on their research. And that is what we are basically against it. So over-reliance is a problem, because once researchers over-rely on these chatbots, even their academic creativity fades away, because and this AI chatbots are not that creative. I mean, if you have utilized them, you can also be able to see the document that is produced through AI chatbot. It is not that detailed. It's just elementary, and you can pick as a lecturer to say this document really it is not produced by a student. But again, colleagues, remember this chatbot can be used for various reasons. Others can use them for editing, for proofreading. But again, if you have got AI detector tools, will still flag the use of AI, even if you utilized it for editing or for proofreading, rather than utilizing it for critical thinking kind of activities. So that's the challenge that we are having at the moment. So the academic creativity will fade away because AI chatbots are intelligent enough to write and analyze academic documents for researchers. The problem with over-reliance is that the voice of researchers will disappear. Once you over-depend on AI chatbot, your voice as a researcher will disappear. Therefore, AI chatbot will make it possible for researchers to produce research where they have not contributed significantly. And what kind of a researcher are you going to be? Claiming that you have produced a research work where you have contributed 1% or less than 10%. Surely that is not your work. It's AI work. So that is what we are basically up against it. I mean, imagine a researcher completing a whole dissertation or a whole thesis when they've contributed minimally in completing it. That really will become a problem. And that is what is unethical about the use of this AI chatbot. But if it is used properly, AI chatbot can indeed contribute meaningfully to research, and researchers can use it, can use this AI chatbot for what it's supposed to do. You can use it to conduct research. We can use it for collaboration, and the chair talked about it, collaboration, which is very important. You can use it to arrange your references and to check if all the in-text citation reflect on your reference list. And you can even use it for peer reviewing and for editing as well. I think that can be ethical enough. But that is why we are here to talk about the importance of this AI chatbot in research. How best can researchers utilize this chatbot? The objectives will look into the types of AI chatbot, the functions, the merits and the demerits, and check issues of ethics. And I will also touch base on the framework that I'm proposing. And what are the types? One of the chatbots, AI chatbot, is called informational chatbots. And this AI chatbot are designed to provide information on a specific topic or a field of study. They answer questions, they can provide definitions, explain concepts, offer references to relevant resources, such as your articles, such as your thesis, or even dissertations. But one of the informational chatbots that perhaps we can mention is the research bot, which is designed to assist the researchers in navigating the vast landscape of academic literature, providing quick access for relevant papers, abstract and summaries. And it's very useful, colleagues, in literature review, article summary, citation assistance, and can also recommend papers and journals. And it can also do the research methodology support. So research bot is an informational chatbot, which is very much intelligent, colleagues, to summarize, to provide abstracts, or even to recommend articles similar to what you are looking for or what you are reading. So this is one of the chatbots that we can utilize for research. Then we have got the Q&A AI chatbots. And when we talk about the Q&A, I mean the Q&A chatbot, we talk about the IBM Watson Assist. Even the Quillbot is one of them. And ChatGPT. ChatGPT reflects in almost all the types. And that is what makes it that dangerous, because and even the use of chatbots became popular after the invention of ChatGPT. And many academic institutions are against the use of ChatGPT for various reasons, because many AI algorithms are embedded in this particular chatbot, which makes it that intelligent enough to become a threat in the academic space. So the Q&A chatbots are trained to answer specific questions posed by researchers. They can be customized to provide responses based on predefined knowledge. Remember, AI chatbots are one of the weak artificial intelligence that are specific, that are narrow-minded, that are here to do a predefined, and they are pre-trained to provide this particular information. That is why chatbots are types of weak in artificial intelligence. Then we have got also the conversational agents, the likes of Siri, the likes of Google Assistant. Again, ChatGPT comes again as one of the conversational agents. They are also known as the visual agent assistants or dialogue systems, which engage researchers in natural language conversations. And what makes it possible for this natural language conversation is the algorithm called the natural language processing algorithm. Without that algorithm, there won't be any conversation between a chatbot and human intelligence. So that algorithm is very important when coming to the utilization of chatbot. They can assist researchers by providing guidance, answering inquiries, facilitating discussions, and performing tasks such as scheduling meetings or setting reminders. These chatbots are or can be utilized for such reasons. I mean, that's your Siri. I think we all know what Siri is all about. And researchers can interact with it using the voice command to perform any task that you want Siri to do. So is the Google Assist. So is the ChatGPT. But these are conversational agents that researchers can do to produce that sound and quality research we talked about. But please, colleagues, we must never over-rely, over-depend, and over-utilize them when we are doing research, because it becomes unethical once we start to over-depend and over-utilize them. Then we have got the research assistants, chatbots, which are specifically designed to support researchers through their research processes. They almost do some similar work like your literature review, your data collection, your hypothesis generation. It can be maybe experimental design. It can be data analysis. You can use them to write. I mean, colleagues, I've noticed nowadays people are not worried about the construction of sentences. They are worried about the idea. Because once you put it down, even utilizing a broken English, you still have a chatbot that can make your English a bit nice. So people are now worried about the idea than how to, but again, as a researcher, as an academic, don't you need the writing skill? How are you going to teach your student to write properly if you yourself rely on a chatbot? It can be the IBM Watson Discovery, it can be the Meta, it can be Grammarly. And Grammarly and Rightful, these are the most popular AI chatbot within the academic fraternity. Even the site. These are, colleagues, popular AI chatbots that are assisting researchers when they are doing their research, literature review, most importantly, issues of editing and paraphrasing. People depend on Rightful. People depend on Grammarly for such things. But I mean, I don't think it will be that a problem if you utilize this AI chatbot for editing or for proofreading. The only challenge is when you replace your thinking capability with a robot. It makes artificial intelligence more dangerous. That is why it is important to supervise artificial intelligence. We also have the peer review chatbot, colleagues. We've got the the peerage of science. These are the chatbot that can be utilized for peer review. You can collaborate with researchers in a particular field or in a particular field of subject globally, and you are able to connect and talk, and you are also able to share your research with anyone in the world so that they can give input. When you publish that article, it will be a quality paper. And chatbots allows you to engage all the researchers across the globe. That is why we talk about the globalization of research. And research is global in the fifth industrial revolution. And what makes it global is AI, is technology. We talk about the chatbots that can connect researchers across the globe to discuss a particular subject, colleagues. So that is how this AI chatbots is very important. and connect researchers across the globe to discuss a particular subject, colleagues. So that is how this AI chatbots is very important. The chair also talked about personalized information services. Normally, I say whenever you are online or digital, you leave the so-called digital footprint. You are leaving yourself. Chatbots that are capable to recommend or provide personalized information, gather information based on your preferences or what you do when you are online. Then that information will be tailored properly for you. Whenever there's a new article, let's say, for example, you research more about AI in libraries. Whenever there's an article that is published, then a notification will be dispatched to you to say, we know that you research along this line, and now there are few articles that are just being published around that. And such chatbots, colleagues, we have got the Brainly, we have got the Quizlet, which are personalized learning chatbot, assist researchers in acquiring new knowledge, skills, and competencies tailored to their individual learning objectives and preference. These are nice and wonderful chatbot, colleagues, that can be utilized. That is why it is important, colleagues. We cannot run away from the use of AI chatbot. We cannot run away from the use of AI. Maybe I have converted others who came here doubtful that AI is important or is needed within the research fraternity. And I hope so far you can see what we can do with research if we want it to be global. And colleagues, we have got another one, the language translation chatbots, like your Google Translate, your Microsoft Translator. These are the language translation chatbots. We have got the survey chatbots as well, your type form, your Microsoft Forms. I think you know this, your Google Form, when you want to do a survey. You don't have to travel from here to Potchefstroom, from Pretoria to Potchefstroom to collect data. You can send a Microsoft form, you can send a Google form to collect this data sitting wherever you are. That is why globalizing research is very important. So you can't do it the manual way. You can't do it the traditional way. You cannot be traveling between provinces to collect data in the age of artificial intelligence. And these chatbots are very important for such reasons. But let's just talk about the functions. I will just touch base because I tried to cover some of them. Let's just reflect on what the functions are. We talked about literature review, that chatbots can be utilized to assist researchers in literature review scoping or in just conducting literature review in general. By searching through vast databases of academic papers, summarizing keywords, and identifying relevant sources based on specific research topics or keywords. And you can also rely on the use of Google Bart as one of the chatbots that is also very good when coming to literature review. Rightful, I talked about, which can assist and even the Quillbot, which can assist structuring your sentences, giving your work a strong academic tone, because academic tone is also very important. I talked about the peer review assistance that AI chatbot can really assist in peer reviewing academic articles. Collaborations is one of them. And again, colleagues, you can use the Microsoft Teams with AI-powered bots like your T-bot for collaboration if you want to collaborate with any other researchers across the globe. And the same AI chatbot can be used to share knowledge and disseminate this knowledge. The likes of Google Scholar alerts with Salt bots or ChatGPT, your work can be shared. I mean, most of us academics, we are on Google Scholar, we are on Science Direct, we are in all these platforms where our work can be shared at ease and our work can become global and people can engage on what we publish, on what we research. And nowadays, most academic libraries are even supporting open access, because it is also not that useful to have research that cannot be reached by the community we write for. That is why many academic institutions have participated in open access to ensure that the research work is globalized and can be accessed by the communities we are writing for. And we can also use it for data collection, we can use it for hypothesis generation, and we can also use it for data analysis. So these are the functions that the types of the AI chatbot that I talked about can be used for. In summary, what are the merits of utilizing AI chatbot, colleagues? I'm about to land now. Efficiency is one of them. Accessibility, scalability, and consistency. But what do we mean efficiency? They can automate repetitive tasks. And that is why we are using AI for. All this all these repetitive tasks can be automated, which means it's a task that can just be done without or with minimal human intervention. So you can automate your repetitive tasks such as literature review, data collection, data analysis, saving references. This task can be automated in the research. Then you know that once you put a source, it will also check the reference list or correct some of the things that need to be corrected. Chatbots provide around-the-clock access to information and assistance, allowing researchers to work on their own pace and schedule. So that is the nice thing about utilizing AI chatbot for research, because access is 24/7. They can handle multiple inquiries simultaneously or concurrently, making them suitable for a large-scale research project with diverse needs. So we can utilize these chatbots concurrently, simultaneously, no matter where we are, regardless the time. As long as we've got access to internet and these chatbots, we can utilize them. They provide consistent responses and follow predefined protocols. Remember, I said chatbots are weak AI, which are narrow-minded, which are specific, which are pre-trained, which are predefined. So they are very consistent in giving response, colleagues, when coming to issues of research, and they ensure reliability in the research processes. They are reliable, colleagues. The personalization, they can tailor responses and recommendation based on individuals' researchers' preferences, interests, and previous engagement. This is the digital footprint I talked about, that whatever you do online, you are leaving a digital footprint. You are leaving a digital footprint, and that information can be collected to now gather articles or information that best suit your preferences or your interest, your research interest, and this is purely based on your previous engagement with the chatbot. I spoke about collaboration as well, that they can facilitate collaboration among researchers across the globe, and they can now be able to share resources, they can coordinate the task and provide updates on project progress. Then accessibility of resources is also of paramount importance, because scholarly literature, databases, and other research resources can be accessed through these particular chatbots. And they can provide feedback on research proposals, on manuscript or methodologies, helping researchers improve quality and rigor of their work. So these are the merits of artificial intelligence. These are the significance, the importance, why we must utilize AI chatbot. And if we use this AI chatbot for this, then we won't have problems. But these are now the demerits, the disadvantages. The first one is bias and fairness. Bias and fairness is actually exposed by how these algorithms are trained. They normally call it algorithm training. We should, colleagues, understand that AI so far is Eurocentric, which means anything that we consume is westernized. It comes from the West because of the algorithm training. So we tend to get biased information simply because AI at the moment is westernized, is Eurocentric. But how do we mitigate that? How do we deal or do away with this kind of biases and fairness? It can only be mitigated by us if we engage, if we utilize, if we are not scared. Because another problem in South Africa, for example, on the use of AI chatbots or AI in general, is the fear of the unknown. That the AI is here to take away our jobs. AI is here to do this and that. We don't seek the good things that AI is bringing. And the mere fact that we view it in that particular view, it becomes a problem for us to engage AI. And AI then will remain biased, because if you go to the Western countries or developed countries, they are not, most of them, of course, there are others that are also fearful, because I know it was banned in various countries in the West, especially ChatGPT. But most of them are utilizing it. And even the programmers are from the West. So it is programmed by the West for us. That is why it is important to engage on the subject of decolonization of AI or Africanization of AI. We can only decolonize it if we engage it. We must start using it ethically, of course, so that it will also recognize the African content. Otherwise, if we don't do that, we are not going to win this battle, colleagues, of AI, algorithm training and algorithm biases. But the challenge, anything that is digital, colleagues, compromises data privacy and security. So researchers must just be aware and be conscious of what they share at any digital platform, because once you put it there, then that privacy can a little bit be compromised unless you put measures to protect that particular information from being accessed by anyone. That's when now you put the control measures, who can access it and who cannot access it. But once you put your work, your content digital, then anything can happen. So sensitive information can be compromised, because there are many data breaches, there are many security breaches, especially if not properly implemented and secured. Again, something which is very important, AI is not sensitive because AI lacks emotions. So they might struggle with understanding the sensitivity of your information, the sensitivity of research inquiries. That is why, colleagues, you must do the ethical clearance, and AI is not convergent with issues of ethical clearance, how to deal with sensitive information, and that can compromise the utilization of AI for research. Of course, I talked about it lacking creativity. It is not creative. It is not creative at all. And it is not that powerful in terms of critical thinking. So it is always important for us to collaborate with it for creativity and for critical thinking, because it is limited when coming to issues of creativity and critical thinking. The technical limitations is, issues of language barriers. Most of these AI chatbots, colleagues, the only way you engage with it when you are using the English as a medium of communication so far in Africa. So most of this chatbot can only understand and know English. So it becomes a barrier now for somebody who cannot speak English, who want to utilize this particular chatbot. Dependency is one of the most important demerit, over-reliance that I talked about, that we should never over-rely. We should never over-depend or even depend on it. Researchers may become overly dependent on chatbots for research tasks, potentially reducing their own critical thinking skills and autonomy in decision making. So you need to be the researcher you are, even after utilizing AI chatbot. Never allow AI chatbot to replace you as a researcher, because AI chatbot will never be a researcher. And the last one is how then ethical are we utilizing them? How are we transparent? Because I know colleagues in South Africa, different various organizations are coming up with especially in research, in publication, they are coming up with the ethics of AI. And one of them is transparency. You utilized it, but where? How did you utilize it? That's what they are trying to do. They come up with such, especially the journals, to say, if you utilized AI chatbot, how did you utilize it? Then you need to declare that that's how you utilized it. But now, what are the ethics, colleagues? What are the ethics? I just spoke about transparency, that we need to be transparent as researchers. We need to disclose how we utilize it. We need to disclose what we did on our research work, on our academic work with AI. If I used it for paraphrasing, I must indicate. If I used it for editing, I must indicate. If I used it for paraphrasing or anything that, even if I used it for critical thinking, I don't know if your paper will go through if you declare that you used it for critical thinking. If you use it to scoop literature, then we need to declare. We need to be transparent. That is ethical, colleagues. Informed consent. If you are collecting data utilizing one of the AI chatbot, you need to be straightforward. And all your participants must be informed and must have the consent on the utilization of AI for anything that involves them. It goes back to issues of being transparent with your participant. If you are conducting a research, if you are collecting data, you need to be upfront with your participant and tell them that we are going to use AI to collect data so that they are aware and they must give such a consent. Privacy and security, I think I have alluded to them, the two, that privacy, security will be compromised. And as a researcher, even when you are applying for ethical clearance, you need to show how are you going to ensure that whatever that the participants are going to provide to you will be kept private, will be kept confidential. And without that element, or you indicating how you're going to ensure issues of confidentiality, you might not even get ethical clearance. So it becomes even more problematic when you are utilizing AI to collect data. Because how are you going to ensure that there shall be confidentiality in your research? And lack of confidentiality kills the integrity of your research, and others will withdraw from participating in your research. I'm trying to be a little bit faster, colleagues, so that we can have an academic engagement. I see it's 12 o'clock now. Issues of accountability and responsibility. We need to take responsibility. We need to be accountable, colleagues. Even if you are using any AI chatbot, I know we are most familiar with ChatGPT. Almost all of us here knows ChatGPT because in a way or another, we have utilized it somewhere in our academic work. Colleagues, we need to take responsibility and accountability. That even if I utilize it, I still have to engage my work. I still have to have ownership of this work. I still have to put my voice. And if you call me to come and talk about what hence many institutions nowadays, they are adopting a defense approach for students, especially those who are doing PhD. To say, now that you say you are done with your thesis, come and defend. Defending means, is this really your work? If it is your work, tell us about your work without going through the whole thesis. Just tell us, sitting here, that this is my work. It is my work because I know this and that about it. And they ask questions. That defense is actually to test the credibility and the authenticity of that research, because we know that nowadays students rely on. I mean, imagine you produce a very good research or article, but you cannot say anything about it. You don't know anything about it. It becomes a problem. Integrity, trustworthiness, it's what we as researchers must be when we are doing this particular kind of work, when we are using the AI chatbot for research. And human oversight and intervention, despite their autonomy, AI chatbot may require human supervision, human oversight. You need to supervise it. It can give you a nice, even if you use it for editing, you still have to go read your document word for word to ensure that it did not change the meaning. Because most of this, especially if you utilized your chatbot, your ChatGPT for editing, if you're not careful, that chatbot can change the meaning of your article completely and say something that you never wanted to say. But now if you just put it there, edit for me, edit, you take it, you put it somewhere, you send it, you might be sending something that lacks academic rigor, and that can be a serious problem, police. This is the framework that I'm proposing. I'll speak to it in the next slide. But this is what I'm proposing. Remember the voice command. You can type, you can now engage with all these chatbots for literature, for writing, for peer review, for collaboration, for knowledge sharing, for data collection and analysis. You can write your book chapters, you can write your articles, your dissertations, your thesis, as long as you adhere to AI ethics, colleagues. It's good even for researchers who are disabled or who are differently abled. They can use various functionalities that are provided to them to be able to utilize or engage with this AI chatbot. I mean, voice command is one of them in as far as interaction is concerned, which is a very good functionality for disabled researchers. I mean, those who are able to, and they can be able to even to utilize the text functionality, that can still be good. But the researchers can use it for such. They can use it to conduct literature review. They can use it to be assisted with writing, academic writing for that matter. It can check your grammar, it can check your spelling, and ensure that your spelling is proper. You can use it for peer review, for data collection, and even to share your research among the scholars globally. Research must be globalized. We don't research for us here in Africa only. We are researching for the world, and we need to share our views and our inputs in the research fraternity with the community, even in the West. However, the researchers must use AI chatbot ethically, colleagues, ethically. It must be utilized ethically so that the standard and the quality of their research project cannot be compromised. Once you use this AI chatbot in research unethically, you compromise the standard and the quality of your research. Imagine you do a thesis, it becomes good, you get a distinction, I mean, in a dissertation anyway, because normally they don't give any mark in your thesis. Now, after 2 years, somebody picks it that you utilized AI. It's not your work. The whole thesis will be taken away, will be brought down because of an ethical use of chatbot. So if we are not having this AI literacy, 2 years down the line, 5 years down the line, people with PhDs will lose their PhDs because somebody will come and say, but there was AI utilized here. It becomes a problem. It can even be taken away from you. So avoid such things. If possible, don't use AI in any academic research if you want your integrity to still remain intact. Researchers must not replace their thinking and creativity in research and academic writing with the use of AI chatbot. If you are a writer, imagine now you are an editor, but you rely on AI for editing. What kind of an editor are you? And I know editors will lose business because most of us can rely on AI for editing, and now you don't get business anymore. Even if you use it for editing, take it to an editor who is gonna read it through and check what the AI did on your document, because you can miss some of the things. If AI chatbot are used properly, colleagues, and ethical, they can help researchers produce quality research. Researchers' output that can be produced through AI include the book chapters. I think I talked about this. And the research can be published open access. I've alluded to what open access is, because it's useless to write for communities, and the same community is not going to have access to the same research that we are writing. And sometimes you can write to a journal which is not open access. You yourself as an author, you don't even have access to your work. So it becomes something else. In conclusion, colleagues, here are the tips for researchers. Exercise caution with dependence. Avoid over-reliance on AI for research tasks. Maintain your identity as a diligent researcher. 2, leverage AI for basic functions. Utilize AI chatbot primarily for tasks such as editing, scoping, literature, sharing your research, and facilitating collaboration with peers. Just use it for basic things. Use it for basic things. You still have to have ownership of the research work. Engage critical thinking. Apply your critical thinking skill to assess the literature provided by AI chatbot. Even if you get literature from AI, you still have to engage it critically so that you can take ownership of that particular work. Conduct further research and ensure that you rephrase the information in your own words. Engage your work so that if I can wake you up at 3 o'clock in the morning and I say, you publish this article, what is it all about? Then you become exposed that you really did not. So by following these guidelines, researchers can effectively integrate AI into their workflow while preserving the integrity. Colleagues, academic integrity is everything in the academic fraternity. So if that integrity goes, it becomes a problem. What institutions can do or must do is to establish AI tax team. This is a specialized team dedicated to advising the university or the research department on the effective utilization of AI for research purposes. You need a team that will advise the entire University of the Northwest on the best practice of AI in research and conduct workshops and training for students so that they are aware of what is happening. Lastly, the policies, colleagues. We need to draft comprehensive policies on the use of AI for research. These policies must be developed, must be clear, must be comprehensive, that talks about how AI can be utilized. I normally ask myself, I mean, if I use AI unethically, of course, because being unethical, that doesn't mean you are illegal. You can still use it unethically, but it is still illegal to use it. Then I submit and the university recall my thesis. What will happen if I take them to court? Because at the moment, even the Fourth Industrial Revolution Commission that was formed by the president, it's doing a little bit too little. We don't have organizations or organizations or institutions that advise in terms of policy framework in as far as AI is concerned. So we need organizations. The university must come up with the policies that students must adhere to when they utilize, so that if there is a breach of promise or contract, major steps will be taken against such people who are doing that. By implementing these measures, colleagues, academic institutions can harness the potential of AI chatbot for research while ensuring responsible and ethical practice are adhered. Thank you very much, colleagues, for listening. That brings me to the end of my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Modiba. Colleagues, it's your turn now to ask any questions. It's time for question and answer. I see there's a lot of comments on the chat. Some are comments. I just only noted one question that I can mention, taking cognizance of time because we're just after 12 now. There's a question on the chat that says, how safe how safe those research assistants like Grammarly, and then okay, do they get flagged also on AI checker tools? That is the question. The research assistant tools like Grammarly, if people use Grammarly and so on, if you put the document through, will it be flagged?
Yes,
Yeah.
Chair. The funny part here is that the same people who discourage the use of AI, they are using AI to detect AI. You see, you even need AI but they say, but they are using it. Why are they using it to detect AI? I mean, it defeats the purpose as well. But of course, Grammarly is very reliable. It's especially when coming to issues of punctuation or the issues of grammar. Grammarly, it doesn't even temper too much with your context, unlike the use of ChatGPT, for example. Grammarly, rightful, they don't temper too much with your context. They only deal with the English, the punch, the comma, the then it's very reliable. And if you want to edit a document, I normally recommend them. Of course, once it's been checked, it will detect it. And the painful part of it here is that it doesn't indicate that you used it only for editing. It says AI has been utilized to generate, even if it was for editing. That is one thing that we need to correct. Hence, I talked about the declaration. Hence, I talked about the transparency. But a policy must give us a leg to become transparent. But in the absence of a policy, then remember when you are writing, for example, an article to a journal that utilizes AI to check AI utilization, it's up to them whether they take your article or not. And you can't take them to court for not taking your article. So it's the discretion of the editor. But some of the articles have been declined because they check AI before they send them for review. Of course, all these platforms that are AI can be detected utilizing AI. I hope the question is properly answered.
Yeah, this was from Mr. Mapeto. Mr. Mapeto, are you answered? Yeah, but I think it was sufficiently covered. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. I am covered.
Oh, okay. No, thanks. I don't pick up any other questions. Colleagues, you can open your mic. Let me just close here so that I can see if there are hands. I see there's a hand. Oh, Prof. Minri. Prof. Minri Grief, over to you.
Thank you, morning. Thank you for an extremely informative and comprehensive coverage of AI. I just want to say Northwest has got a web page that's just in the process of being launched. AI, there's the tools, the guidelines for AI that was much more teaching, learning orientated. The research has been included. It will be shortly published. And there is the steering committee working on the framework for AI policy. So all those things are very active, and make sure that you link into that webpage to keep updated. There's also general AI lunches now that's monthly. So please make sure. I want to come from the area of research integrity, and I can't agree with you more, Dr. Modiba, is that we are picking up, and unfortunately, just using Grammarly is also doing that to an extent, is when people are referred because they've used AI or they've used literature reviews incorrectly, or their reference and in-text, or their reference list, and just those are all the cases referred to me and the deans to investigate, is where it's the intelligent interaction cannot be emphasized enough. And I add to that human judgment, because we see that often what happens now is that if Zander, for instance, and we would look for a paragraph that's been paraphrased, and I use them often saying foofy paraphrasing tools have been used. It changes the context of what the original researchers said to such an extent that it changes context and you can't find it in the original document at all, or the original article. So we must be very careful about that and to make sure. The other thing that I also want to say is what we're picking up too much is people are using where there must be informed consent, as you correctly said. But what people are doing is they're loading up articles, for instance, they're in an ethical committee or they're in scientific committee, and they load it into these AIs. You're not allowed to do that. That's totally unethical. You don't have the permission of the person. You are busy with a very confidential review. So please be careful and not risk yourself being in a research integrity case because you've uploaded colleagues' work for review or whatever, unless it is a very specific choice you make, like the ones you mentioned. And then the big difference that and it will also in our academic integrity policy, we're bringing in the difference between academic writing and scientific writing, and AI tools or AI is really struggling with true scientific writing, where it's about argumentation, theoretical judgment, making meaningful conclusions. They found that if you, in 23, one of the big research studies they did, where they asked AI to produce 50 abstracts, and it couldn't produce the same abstract. So the big thing in the language of the international world of research integrity is reproducibility and repeatability, and AI can't do that either. So I'm not against AI, but I'm just saying be careful. So I'm just saying this, Doctor, to say I have really enjoyed your presentation, but just to say this is what we are picking up on the side of research integrity.
Thank you, Prof. Thank you, Prof. Rief, for those remarks. They're quite insightful that we should take caution when we use AI. I don't know, Dr. Modiba, would you like to comment? Then we'll take another hand. I saw there is Karina Grobler. We can give an opportunity.
No, we can take a hand. Yeah, just for the sake of time.
Let's take Karina.
Yes, hello. Thank you, Dr. Modiba, for your presentation. I have several questions, but I think the one that I would like to share with you, or rather a comment or an encouragement for all of us, is to perhaps come from another angle than decolonization of AI and see that we should contribute to AI. I'm not sure that the AI was created or the different platforms to exclude certain populations or certain areas or certain continents, but that we have a responsibility to contribute in different languages, because the more we use our local languages on AI, the better the AI will become. I have a colleague who's working in Setswana, and they contribute texts in Setswana, and they ask the ChatGPT, for example, questions in Setswana. So we have to take that step and feed that information into the system for it to empower it, I suppose, to work better and more efficiently in different languages. So we shouldn't shy away from using those languages and not only focus on English.
Yeah. Okay. No, thank you. Thank you for those remarks. There's also another comment very quickly. Actually, it's a question from the chat, Dr. Modiba, before I hand over to you again. It says, why do AI editing and proofreading require policies and oversight, whereas if I use a human editor to perform the same task, even unethically, there are no stringent policies or calls to regulate this. That is, we tend to be more stricter, with the use of these AI tools as compared to human intelligence, with use of editors. Yeah, I think that was something else. I think that was.
Well,
You
yeah,
can
I can
respond.
see the comment there.
Mm,
But it depends again, the university or the institution that a student is registered to. In other institutions, you still have to provide the certificate of editing. And they also check if this person is it's a proper editor who is registered with editing organizations in the. It depends anyway with institutions. Other institutions, they cannot give you they cannot award you a degree until they can see that the person who edited this thing, this dissertation or thesis, is a credible editor. So you still have to prove. But other institutions are not doing that as long as your work is edited. But again, it talks to the supervisor. Because if I'm supervising you and you say to me, no, I've edited the document, I still have to supervise that. It's not policy-based, but it's ethical for me as a supervisor to go through your editing. That is why editors will submit 2 documents, the one with track changes and a clean document to show you what they did. So ethically, I still have to go through what you have done. And even my supervisor still have to go through what the editor have done, just to satisfy myself that this work was edited properly.
yes.
But when coming to supervising AI editing, this is very important, colleagues. It's very important. Of course, I said things like Grammarly and Rightful can be trusted, but any machine-made product must be interrogated before you can be sure that this is what I ordered. You have to check. It's called quality checks, or it is called these are the control measures that you can put in place to see if it is well done. Remember, we have got the AI hallucination.
Yes.
It can hallucinate.
Mm.
Now I can ask any one of you on ChatGPT, ask it, who is Dr. Mashiyane? I've been, when I engage with people across the country with regard to the use of AI, I normally ask them to do so. ChatGPT said, Dr. Mashiyane Modiba is a politician who contested for the past election. That is not me, but it is talking about me. That is the hallucination I talk about. Then you take it, you submit it in your assignment as an answer that Dr. Mashiyane Modiba is a politician who contested ANC in the previous election. You are not talking about me. That is why you need to supervise it. But the issues of policies that I talked about that institutions must have is just to safeguard the credibility of their qualification. Because if it can be picked up by anyone, even international, to say this is a thesis published by Northwest University in 2024, and we can attest or confirm that there is 99% of AI generation work or text, then the credibility is not only going to the student, it is also going to the institution for allowing such work. So institutions are doing that to protect themselves against that. If they can pick it first, they can just deal with it internally. But if it can be picked by somebody else, we are going to question all the qualifications offered. All the theses that were published by that institution will have to be checked one by one. And that can damage the integrity and the reputation of the university. I think I tried by all means to address Mr. or Dr. or Professor who Jeffrey. I think I tried, Jeffrey.
Yes. Let me go back to the chats. Yeah, I think it was covered. Also, the policy matters as well as raised by Prof. Agriev. So I think we covered everything, and I don't see any more questions. But there are remarks of sharing the presentation. I don't know, will the presentation be made available or?
Yes, I will send it to you.
Oh, okay. Okay, we'll be able to find out who are those people that need the presentations.
Yes.
Yeah, we will share with them. And then I will hand over at this point in time, just in managing time, I will invite the closing remarks from Ms. Dina Mashiyane, the Senior Manager, Outreach Projects and Quality at the Northwest University. Dina, over to you.
Thank you very much. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. As we draw this insightful and thought-provoking webinar to a close, I would like to take this opportunity to reflect on the knowledge shared by Dr. Modiba this afternoon with us. And he has not only expanded our understanding on how artificial intelligence, particularly AI chatbots, is revolutionizing research, but he has also challenged us to critically consider the opportunities and ethical consideration that also come with this technology and also chatbots as well. And from different types and functions of AI to the pros and cons of these tools, Dr. Modiba also comprehensively explored this area, and he also equipped us with the valuable insights for the future research and also innovation as well. The discussion on ethics and the recommended framework that he has also shared with us to guide the use of a responsible use of AI ethics in research was also particularly significant, and thank you so much for that. And while these tools offer immense potential for enhancing efficiency and accuracy of research, we must also be mindful of their limitations and also ethical implications, ensuring that technology remains a servant of humanity and not the other way around. We shouldn't be slaves of these technological tools. Colleagues, the discussion on behalf of the NW Library and Information Services, we would like to extend our heartfelt appreciation to Dr. Modiba for such a thought-provoking and enriching engagement. And there's also a Congolese proverb that says, "A single bracelet does not jingle," which basically, if we were to contextualize this to what we've learned today, one can basically say that knowledge becomes more meaningful and effective when shared and used collaboratively as well. And as we move forward, let us continue to embrace innovation, question the status quo, and explore how we can shape a future where technology, research, and humanity work hand in hand. And let's not over-depend on AI chatbots, leading to us losing our voices as scholars and also as researchers, as previously echoed by Dr. Modiba. Together, we are shaping the future of research in this transformative era. A special thanks goes to Ms. Neli Tshabalala for spearheading this event with grace and clarity. Thanks a lot, Neli. We also want to express our gratitude to each and every one of you, our esteemed participants, for your attendance and also engagement, insightful questions and contributions throughout the session. It is through these shared spaces that we continue to learn and grow together as a community. And lastly, to everyone involved in organizing this event and the technical support, thank you very much. Thank you. Goodbye.
Goodbye, everyone. Thank you. Bye.